Hello and welcome to the Cameo Show. I am here with my co-host, Greg Braun. Hi, Greg.
Howdy, howdy. And it's time for a dad joke. So hope everybody's ready to laugh.
Okay, lay it on us.
What concert costs 45 cents?
Something with 50 Cent.
That's right. 50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
Well done. Well done. Today, we are going to talk about real life hacks on maximizing your downtime. As parents, we spend a lot of time in the car rider line or waiting at practice. And often we spend time in the car driving to work, or we sit in doctor's offices. And there are some real life things that we've implemented that have really helped us maximize that time that we're going to be spending sitting doing nothing to continue to feel like you're making progress. So we're going to just rapid fire spitball some of these. And hopefully there'll be things that can help anyone who's listening feel like, gosh, during that 30 minutes I'm waiting to pick up my kid, I can be using this time to do this. It's not that hard. It's actually really helpful and smart, and I feel great about it. So, number one, always have a book with you.
Yes, this is a game changer. When we first moved to Florida 8, 9 years ago, I can't even remember how long it's
Almost
been.
9.
Yeah, almost 9. What, July 30th?
Mm-hmm.
9 years. So when we first moved here, everywhere we went, because everything was new, we weren't sure how long things were going to take. And we're on a self-improvement journey that we were just kind of starting fresh and just trying to build a new life for ourselves in a new area. And having a book at all times that was helpful, educational about something that we were pursuing, like how to start a business or how to
communicate in your marriage.
communicate in your marriage, how to network better, whatever it was. That was a game changer because there was a lot of time in between events, things, kid pickup lines that you could knock out 8 pages where you might have just sat in your car and been on Instagram or listening to a Miley Cyrus song on the radio for the 100th time. I mean, or just daydreaming, but like using that time with intention was a huge shift, a very noticeable, huge shift. And that came from Brian Tracy. That was a thing that he said in one of the early books that I read of his, was like, you can get a college education in your car just by listening to books on tape. And I was like, wow, it's a reality. You can really maximize your time there. The best thing is on a flight because you're literally just sitting in a small little space and there's really not much you can do but sit there. And it's either going to be I'm listening to a podcast or I'm reading a book, and using that time to maximize opportunity.
Definitely not sleeping. That's a
Yeah.
lie. I keep telling myself that if I book a red eye, I'll sleep. That's a
Yeah.
lie. So bring a book.
Bring a book.
Which brings us to number 2, in the same realm of having a book with you to learn something new, have a podcast to listen to. So whether you're sitting in the pickup line, at practice, in the doctor's office, have your AirPods, earbuds. What are they called? We always get it wrong. Either way, throw on a podcast. Do it while you're driving to work instead of listening to Miley on repeat. Like, use that time to learn something new. So if you can't read while you're driving, don't do that, but you can listen to something. So along those same lines.
We live in a golden opportunity right now of information sharing. So whatever you're interested in, stamp collecting, model cars, rocket designs, music production, whatever it is, there are some deep conversations happening on these podcasts. And in fact, in our experience, there's a few podcasts that we completely dove into when we first moved here and started kind of thinking of ourselves as self-employed, like we're building a business here. And they literally, through the sharing through those podcasts while we were at the gym, driving in the car, you were learning so much from people giving away free information about how to get a CRM, to what database to use for your loan origination systems, like all the technical stuff that you would just never know unless you we're seeking it out and purposely listening, they're not going to talk about that stuff on the evening news
Right.
or,
On
you
the
know,
radio show, the
on
morning
the
radio
radio.
show.
That's
Right.
not, that's to entertain you. This is just a life hack of taking that time back and putting it to work in education.
Yes, 100%. Number 3 is an intentional mindfulness activity. I know it might be hard to sit in your car and do some type of breath work or meditation, but again, kind of back to the resources that we have, there are all kinds of really great guided meditations that you can listen to. If you have 15 minutes to sit and wait on your kid, you can pop on a guided meditation, take some deep breaths. You don't have to close your eyes. It doesn't have to be anything weird. We've talked about meditation on the podcast before, but it's an opportunity for you to nurture yourself and give yourself some downtime where you're not overstimulating yourself scrolling on your phone or listening to the radio, or hell, even like being on the phone chit-chatting with somebody else just to fill the time. You're utilizing that time in a way that is on purpose for the betterment of yourself, for your soul, and in this case, for the regulation of your emotions and of your brain activity. So that's something that I've done frequently, and I know you have too.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with calling a friend or, making that quick work call or, listening to the Miley Cyrus song for the 100th time, but be also open to the idea that that is an opportunity to steal time back to do something productive. And also just on the meditation thing, like when you're in between maybe appointments or coming home from work and you've got some time, even just taking like a few seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute to just reset your, recalibrate, I guess,
Right.
using those little micro opportunities to not just rush into the next moment and not be fully there. Give yourself a second to fully show up for the next thing that you're going to be like, all right, now my work's done. I'm going to go be a dad and cook dinner with the family. Like I can't be bringing work with me.
Yeah. Sometimes I just want to scroll on my phone. So
Yeah.
to your point, like there's nothing wrong with that. But this is about finding ways that are real life hacks to utilize and maximize your time when you have consistent downtime that you're like, what am I going to do for 20 minutes?
Yep.
Number 4, and this is a major game changer for me. I am a list maker. I love color changing pens. I can't live without them. I like to use that time to get organized, make lists, check in with my calendar, check in with what's going on in our lives and what's next. Utilizing that time to kind of, like you said, reset in a little bit of a different way. I also like to use that time to take the list to the next level as it pertains to groceries and literally order my groceries. If that's something that's available in your area and you're not doing it, please do yourself a favor and try it. Whatever Instacart or Walmart or Publix, Whole Foods on Amazon, the Amazon app, whatever your grocery of choice is, there's usually an app, there's usually an outlet to order your groceries. You're typically buying all of the same 30 items with some random stuff sprinkled in. You've made the list, order the groceries. It saves you an hour of your life after the 20 minutes you've just spent sitting in the pickup line that you don't have to go into the grocery and walk through each of the aisles. You literally pull up, you check in, they bring them to your car, and you're on your way. So you're maximizing your time, but then you're also saving yourself some time. You're buying yourself some time by ordering the groceries that you've just sat in the car rider and done. Like that's like what's it called? A double whammy. It's like what's
The
it called?
win-win.
Yeah, it's I'm looking for like a Price is Right reference, but I can't find one. Number 5, and this one might sound a little bit hokey, but I have done this. I don't do it as frequently as I probably could or should, but you can also utilize that time to like be active. 77%, I'm big on this stat because it's staggering. And I'm reading this book called Outlive that's all about longevity. And 77% of the population is not active, meaning like don't even do any type of zone 2 exercise, like take a walk for 20 minutes. So you can literally like park your car in the car rider line. I've seen parents do it all the time. Hop out and go for a walk for 20 minutes. Get there early if you want to utilize that time intentionally to get some type of activity in. It's good for you all around. And in the book Longevity, obviously, he's positioning it as a way to be proactive in your approach to health. But like, that is just a time when you could utilize that. I personally have used it when I'm training for something. I've run from one school to the next. Greg sits in the pickup line and I meet him at the other school, where we pick up the other kid at the other school. And like, it's just a way to think outside the box. You don't have to be forced into wasted time by having to sit in the pickup line or sit at practice. You can utilize that time to learn something, to be active, to organize your life, to save yourself time later.
So these are just the things that we've learned from other people through podcasts, through books. One of the most impactful books that we read when we first moved to Florida and our life was just basically ground level building up from the ashes was The Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. That book,
it's right behind me for anyone who can see.
I mean, it was just so full of valuable, very, digestible knowledge nuggets that were just like implement them right away. And so these are the things like through our journey we've picked up and learned, and it's fun to share with other people and see kind of what they're implementing and what other life hacks are out there that maybe we're not even thinking of, and just being open to trying. Like, what if you just never would have tried the shopping app and you just would have judged it because you heard someone say something negative about they got them the wrong eggs, and then you were like, well, I'm not going to do it because so and so said they got the wrong eggs.
On that note, I almost didn't because I felt so guilty doing it. I was like, oh my God, this feels so wrong to pull in here and have someone bring me my groceries. And it's like, those are just the stories that we tell ourselves. But now I look at it as a way to maximize my time and save time. And also I'm contributing to someone else making a living. It's not like those people are like working for free. They are getting paid to be at their job. It's part of their job and keeping them employed. Like it's a good thing all around. Sometimes they do get some of the things wrong or they don't have the items, and that's not always fun, but it's a small price to pay with regard to that. So it's a great point to being open. Like it's not always going to be perfect. And there's always going to be a reason why to be like, I don't know if I can do it that way, but there's plenty of things that you can try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Try bringing the book. You might open it up, see what happens.